Oh yo, hope you did something fun today. Today I'm trying to make good on my promise about dedicating April to giving the channel a new coat of paint. And we're starting with new profile pictures. If I'm being totally honest, I was supposed to do these last week, but couldn't work up the motivation to even start them. Thing is, I was really hyped about the anniversary for months now, and the fact that I dropped the ball on it so spectacularly has really bummed me out. I swear nothing tanks my motivation as hard as being excited for something and then failing it. I take burnout over that any day. So trying to achieve that after the fact has been an uphill battle, but if I don't do it now, well, I probably won't till the next anniversary or something, and my current assets are a pain to look at. And I really want new ones and the channel looking all spiffy and pretty and the best I can make it right now, so we gotta try to push through this. And the icons are my starting point. They're a week late, but they are here, and I hope you guys will enjoy watching them being drawn while I ramble about them. So to start, these are actually a two birds with one stone kind of deal. You see back in... okay, let me go check quickly. I wanna say in 2019, but I might be off a year or so. I was right. It is in fact in 2019 December that I first started a set of icons that I wanted to use in this heart tracker template for a group I was in on DeviantArt. It was to track my kiddos' relationships with other people's characters, and I wanted to make one for all of my OCs, since I later decided to use them as their Toy House profile icons too. It's rather embarrassing how long it has taken me to finish the set. We're literally in 2019 and these two aren't even the last ones. I still need to do Y2, for who I do have a rough sketch, but the face proportions are wrong, and trying to make them accurate to him was messing up the perspective and got me real frustrated, so I haven't touched it since. I'm pretty sure I could manage to do the perspective now, but man, this feeling of frustration is all I can remember when I look at that sketch. So I've been a coward and I'm yet to try again. I don't even want to look at the file date on it. I bet it's already been a year or more. I don't want to be proven right on that. But now with these done, I want to tackle Wise 1 too. Think I'll try to do it in May, in a non-video week, so I can finally have the whole set done after all these years. I really look forward to that, man. Besides these icons, I think I only ever finished one other set, and that was the full body arts for all my Pokemon Ginjika kiddos in an accurate to scale to each other set, so their height differences were correct and all that. Oh man, talking about this is making me realize that I probably should make some sort of video quickly introducing my characters to the people on here, because while I'm trying to talk in terms I hope everyone can understand, it's pretty hard and I'm unsure if it's even clear, because sure, likely most of the people watching these are my friends and know what I'm on about, but in case someone does stumble onto my stuff, it would probably be nice to have some kind of video like that I could link in the corner, assuming I can figure out how to do that. I think I managed to once, so hopefully I could do it again. Although I do have a speed paint dedicated to each of my characters. Well, aside of Tyron, my poor pupper never got the right timing to make one of his illustrations into a video. But aside of him, everyone has one. Some even have multiple, and there's also the October videos where I dedicated everyone a prompt, so those cover even Tyron. Thus, for anyone who has watched every single of my videos, they shouldn't be strangers either. However, I can see the views on them and I know there's not many people who watched all of those, and probably anyone new who stumbles on my stuff won't go looking through all of them, especially since they do only have music, and as far as I'm aware, people prefer to watch art with commentary. So, a little intro to my kiddos would be useful to have on the channel, and I'll see about putting such a video together if it will even make sense, since I don't want to go too in depth. That'll be for the OC series I mentioned in the last video. If it doesn't, then oh well, but if I can make something neat of it, then you guys will definitely see it. Like with the full body arts, I did the first few on such a small canvas size and had to do the following ones the same, so they all matched in the final lineup, even though by the last few I had moved on to way bigger file sizes and thus cleaner line arts and whatnot, so it felt low-key torturous to make things that small. Same thing with these. When I made the first two, I was experimenting with tiny things in my style. That's why these are done with a textured line art brush, even though I haven't done that in years in any other kind of art piece, because I don't know. I love when other people's art has texture, but it feels off to me when I do it, so it didn't stick. This also has the shade layer mode applied to the liner, another thing I just couldn't make work for me. And it feels weird and janky to try to do all these things again when I moved on from them ages ago. I'm not gonna lie, seeing the newest ones looking no different skill-wise from the first two kind of kills me inside, you know? Really hits in that you're not improving at all in security. I wish learning and getting better at art didn't feel so tedious and boring. So yeah, I don't like any of that, and I don't want to deal with it in the future. However, I adore arts that come in sets like these. I am simply overjoyed when a set is finished and I can see all the art together and be proud. It makes me so happy, because I definitely don't want to stop making sets altogether. And my grand and admittedly very obvious solution to my problems is to just do them all in one go from now on. So whenever I decide to make a set of arts, I'll just sketch them all together and not start lining till all of them are sketched. And then try to finish off all the sketches one after another with minimal art pieces in between, if any at all. This way I can have all the fun parts and hopefully avoid all the bad ones if I stick to this right. I do have two sets in mind I'd like to do once the heart tracker one is done. One set I've been wanting to do since last art fight, inspired by an attack I made for a friend. It'd be an Alphonse Mucha / Art Nouveau inspired and a little suggestive type of pieces. It wouldn't be of all my killers, just Y, Kaito, Tyron, and likely Aaron. I kinda really wanna draw him in that sort of setting, even if it's not very fitting for his character. Mayhaps Boom, but I'm not really feeling him for this. All the rest of my kiddos are a big no-no for that type of thing though, so they wouldn't be part of it. The other set would be a series of portraits, all of my characters included. Not sure for the vibe of these. I just wanna try my hand at doing illustrations that use only black and white and one single bright color. No grays, no shades of extra color. No blending or gradients either, just solid blocks of color, a pretty graphic kind of thing. Saw an art like that on Blue Sky once and the itch to make something like that hasn't left me ever since. Definitely need to do it at some point, but time! Well, actually, I don't think the individual pieces would even take all that long, but it's the fact that it would be 9 of them that would. And I'd want to make a video with all 9 of them in one, which means I need to do them in between working on other stuff, so that'll definitely take a while and will require planning on my part. And while I'm very good at planning, I am terrible at sticking to set plans, so who knows when I'll make it happen. Definitely not anytime before the end of summer, I can tell you that much. Anyway, I probably should bring this back around to what I'm actually drawing, the whole 2 birds with 1 stone thing. So one bird is the fact these are for that set that's so close to completion. The second bird is using these as my new icons for my social medias, which I'll admit these ain't super fitting for, cause well, the outdated style bits. They especially don't fit with the fact that so far all the acety things I've done, I haven't used my illustrations line art where I go and color it. Rather, I've been leaving it black and doing the RGB thing when I don't forget about that. The previous icons had it, which admittedly weren't supposed to stay as my icons till the anniversary. I had planned to change them for ones that were drawn specifically to be that, not just a crop from an art, but I am lazy, and unless there's something kicking my butt, like doing a holiday specific icon or trying to do a cohesive vibe for something, I tend to just push doing that stuff off till said butt kicking happens, like it's happening now. And while I'd like to say these will be just for a bit till I make more fitting ones, I see no point in lying to myself or anyone else. They'll probably again stay till the next anniversary unless I decide they're really not working with the aesthetic of the other assets and will burn my eyes so hard that I'll get so fed up I replace them. Time will tell on that one. For what it's worth, I do like how these turned out. While I sketched them out without any heart in it, I kind of dig where they ended up. I felt really meh about Besh's one, and Hal's face proportions looked all kinds of up, but I was really happy with it for some reason. Just something about it I really enjoyed, and that was such a pleasant surprise. Made me actually want to work on these and make Besh's ones better. So her sketch got some tweaking, mostly with the arms and hands, their placement and slightly their pose. After that I went in to correct Hal's proportions, and not gonna lie, I don't think I fully succeeded in making him look like himself. The fact I haven't drawn him once outside of the art you see on my channel, which with this one is like 4 pieces total, really wasn't helping me. I really do need to draw him much more to get a feel for his face and its angles and likeliness, figure some things out. Until then, this will have to be good enough, at least he doesn't look terribly off. Lining these two was all kinds of weird cause again of the textured brush. Man, I can't wait for the day I can forget all about that texture's existence. Just one more piece before I can. That time can't come any faster. It feels so jank to draw with this. Eventually I get into the groove and it's fine, maybe almost enjoyable, but it takes a while to get into that zone. And once the lines are done, you think that's the worst part over, but no, oh, it's yet to come. And it's exactly why I don't do layer modes on the line art anymore. Flatting is a nightmare with a see-through line art layer if your line art is thick, and mine is. So I had to face the nightmare of flattening these with the fill tool and then having to revisit the edges of all the layers to make sure they're not bleeding into the line art of other things. So tedious, I hate it. Most people who know me will know that I am not a fan of coloring. Line art is my favorite part, I adore it to bits. Always down to line for other people or take that spot and collapse. It's great, it's so fun, I enjoy it loads. Cannot say the same about coloring, and out of all the coloring things, flatting was my worst enemy before I found the cool tool in Clip Studio that makes it so much faster, and that's why I do the annoying thing of jumping programs when I draw, just for that tool, cause it shaves off so much time in the flatting part of an illustration. So with that shrunk down so much, I don't have as loathsome feelings towards coloring as I used to. However, if I try to do thick lines with a layer mode line art, I get a taste of that old grief when I need to go through all the edges, and boy howdy does it annoy me. So as much as I like the look of line art when it's on multiply or in this case shade layer, I just can't do them myself, not without making my lines way thinner, so I wouldn't need to suffer that flatting cleanup, but I had to suffer through that for this. In comparison to all that, the shading is pretty painless. I mean, it's a portrait, there's not much to shade, so it's quick. A lot of it is still the same way I do it now, just lacks some of the lighting effects I enjoy nowadays. The highlights are not as bright and the hair ones lack the shape I do now, so it's not far off and thus feels comfy, but also makes me a little sad cause I don't have my fun bits. I always try to breeze through the shading, cause again, not a part I particularly enjoy, and at that point it feels like the finish line is so close, I just wanna race to it. I should definitely try to slow it down, especially in my big pieces, since taking more time with the shading ensures the end art piece looks so much better. But I get impatient, and the more ambitious the art is, the more I tend to rush during the shading, because I already took so much time to get to that point and my patience is running out fast. Now I know the smart thing to do would be to put the piece down, maybe work on something else till my patience reservoir for that set piece fills back up, but the unfortunate truth is that doesn't work for me. If I put a piece down, there's a real tiny chance I'll ever pick it back up again. I get distracted, I wanna draw all these other things, and then one day I open the file up and it's just too old. My style doesn't feel like it quite matches anymore. There's so many things that poke my eyes that I just can't finish it. They only have hope of reaching completion if I stopped at the sketch phase, then I kinda can pick them back up and fix them. And I'm saying this from experience. There's many cool pieces I have buried in my unfinished folder. May they rest in peace. I wish I hadn't put them down, but since I did, they'll never be finished now, even if I really wanted to. I basically would need to redraw everything, and at that point, it's no longer finishing anything, it's redoing it, which I might still do for some things, who knows. But yeah, that's why I'll always race to the finish line and always try to finish things before much time has passed from me beginning it. Icons and portraits are luckily a quick ordeal, so they rarely suffer that fate. These two only took me 3 or so days, and I most certainly could have done them in one if I hadn't struggled with the motivation. One is just a few hours of work really. And with that, these two are done, so let's take a closer look at the finished art, shall we? Hope you enjoyed the art process and my rambles. I can say there's many more to come, so if you did, do stick around. If you wanna help me with my motivation in getting all these assets done this month, do leave a comment. I'm always overjoyed to see one and I always reply, and I'm planning to keep doing that for as long as that's manageable. Anyhow, thanks for watching, do them, be fun, bye bye!